Hello and welcome back to another devlog video for The Last Hurrah. This week we're talking about getting back into a project. How do you get going on something that's been sitting around for a while? The first thing I noticed was that my coding skills had improved a lot since I started developing this project. And so right away at the beginning of this week, I took some time to just go through and optimize my old code to make things a bit smoother, cleaner, and better. I discovered lots of bugs and glitches that I didn't even notice there were flaws in the system before, and I fixed those up. Some of them included animations were playing when they shouldn't have been. You could highlight multiple different objects in the world. There was glitches in menus that you could enter and not exit. And there was a lot of bugs when transitioning from one day to another. Some characters would be still stuck pathfinding to a previous day, or some characters wouldn't even be there at all. But all those bugs have been smoothed and cleaned out now. After I took some time to just go over my old code and spent some time optimizing, I started to notice some little features that I could add to clean things up a bit. I find it more motivating for me to continue a project when I start with something easy. So I'll implement little features that aren't huge gameplay things, but just help bring the whole game together. This week, I decided to tackle some sound. The game felt a little empty without it, previously sounding something like this.
My friends and I had no idea what was about to come.
And with sound, I feel like the whole game becomes a little bit more immersive. I started playing around with dynamic sound and 3D spatial audio. There's lots of interesting mechanics that Unity has built into their audio system that I could play around with to get the right feel for my game. For example, when you walk to the top of the hill, I want there to be the sound of wind. But I had a problem where the wind sounded like it was coming from a specific point in space. So what I did, instead of using Unity's full 3D audio system, I slowly transitioned the audio to 2D audio, as in it plays in both ears whenever you're within a certain distance. I did a similar thing for the water down at the beach. As well, you might be able to notice I added footstep sounds and background birds chirping. And I took away some of those sound effects when you open up the menu as well, which will then start the song. The final result sounds something like this. Adding little things like this just helps the whole game feel more alive and gets me more excited to keep working on it. Usually when I'm jumping into a project that I haven't touched for a while, I like to first just do small, minor things so I can get a feel for what I'm working with again. I find when I try to jump into the big, deep end of the mechanics, I usually get lost pretty quickly. Once I added the sound, I decided to add a few other small features as well, like pathfinding to players that you're talking to. Now when a player clicks on another player, they will automatically move to that character. Once I finished those mechanics for the game, I was feeling pretty good about where The Last Hurrah was going. But some things got caught up because I had to move. Taking down my desk setup and bringing it into a new space is always weird for me, but I quite like the view that I'm able to have from my new office space. And now I get to share an office with a couple others as well. Moving into a new house is always a fun experience. And in the mix, I got to hang out with some friends as well. Amidst moving, hanging out with friends, going snowboarding, building bunk beds, getting a new job, it's been a pretty busy few weeks, but I'm excited to get going on The Last Hurrah again. These new features that I'm adding are a good starting place to move on to where we want to be going. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'm really excited about where we're going. I hope to see you in the next one.